Sanjeev are joining through VC call from the plants. The results of Q1FY22 are already with you for some time now, and we are sure that you would have already gone through them. The Chairman and Managing Director has already dealt with most of the important aspects of the financial results for the year-ended as well as quarter-ended for Q1FY22 during the interaction with the shareholders in the AGM held very recently on 14th of August 21. However, I would like to share with you some of the key indicators relevant for our discussion today. Q1 financial 22 results of consolidated financial statements. The comparative performance of Q1 FY22 with that of Q1 FY21 and Q4 FY21 have been given in the presentation already circulated. Gross income in Q1 FY22 is 1,430 crores as compared to rupees 1,116 crores in the previous quarter Q4 FY21, an increase by rupees 314 crores at 28.14%. Compared to Q1 FY21, gross income rupees 993 crores, there is an increase of rupees 447 crores at 45.47%. The PBT is rupees 99 crores in Q1 FY22 as compared to rupees 93 crores in Q4 FY21, an increase by 6.45%. Compared to Q1 FY21, PBT of rupees 147 crores, there is a decrease by 32.65%. Decrease in PBT year-on-year basis is on account of increase in raw material prices. It may be noticed that the gross income of P division has registered a significant increase of about 58% over corresponding quarter of the previous year and 40% over the previous quarter. However, the AVANTIFEED revenue has gone down by 5% over corresponding quarter of the previous year and 19% from the immediate previous quarter. The consolidated PBT has come down by 33% on year-on-year basis and 6% on quarter-on-quarter basis. Now, this is the consolidation position. Let us go to standalone financial results of feed and processing divisions. First, let me take up feed division. Q1 FY22 results. The gross income for the Q1 FY22 is rupees 1,257 crores as compared to rupees 795 crores in the corresponding quarter of Q1 FY21, registering an increase of rupees 462 crores at 58%. The PBT for the Q1 FY22 is rupees 93 crores as compared to rupees 112 crores in Q1 FY21, a decrease of rupees 19 crores at 17%. You may notice that in spite of significant increase in gross income, the PBT has come down by 17% compared to corresponding quarter of the previous year. Compared to the previous quarter, a marginal increase of 12% in PBT is recorded. As in the recent past, the uncontrolled steep increase in raw material prices, particularly soybean meal and fish meal and dairy products such as soya lecithin and fish oil, have been the major contributing factors for the drastic fall in the margins in spite of increase in sale of feed. The fish meal price has gone up to 95% per kg in Q1 FY21 as compared to 91 per kg in Q4 FY21, and now it is around 115 rupees per kg. Due to increase in soybean meal price, consumers like poultry industry have shifted to fish meal and soybean meal. However, with the announcement of permission to import soybean meal, lifting of ban on fish catches, which commences from 1st of August, the industry is expecting stabilization of fish meal prices in due course. The soybean meal price, which was at 46 rupees per kg in Q4 FY21, shot up to 65 rupees per kg in Q1 FY22 and went further up to 105 rupees per kg recently. After the announcement of import of soybean meal, the prices started coming down about 95. For importing soybean meal, customs notification regarding procedures for import is awaited. Hopefully, with imported soybean meal and local fresh crop commencing, the fresh soya crop commencing from second half of September, the industry expects the stabilization of the price in due course. The company, after a long time, increased the feed price by 2 to 15 paise per kg in April 21 and by rupees 3 rupees per kg in May 21 and further increase of rupees 4.25 in August 21 to recover RM cost partially, the impact of which can be seen in Q2 FY22. I mean, August 21 increase of 4.25 will have an impact in the current quarter, ongoing quarter. The positive impact of softening of RM price, if any, can be seen only in Q3 FY22. Shrimp processing division. Coming to the shrimp processing ring, the Q1 FY22 results. The gross income for the Q1 FY22 is 175 crores as compared to 189 crores in Q1 FY21, registering a degrowth by 14 crores at 7.41% due to non-availability of containers and slowdown in the export by implementing more quality checks in view of the US FDA recall. The PBT for the Q1 FY22 is rupees 8 crores as compared to 34 crores in Q1 FY21, a decrease of 26 crores mainly due to withdrawal of MEAS scheme. Increase in marketing expenses on account of steep increase in the ocean prices. Impact of MEAS withdrawal. The gross income includes export incentives of 5% MEAS and 3% duty drawback on FOB value of export, which were contributing significantly to the PBT of the company. However, the government of India withdrew MEAS in two phases, firstly restricting MEAS incentives from September 20th to December 20th to rupees 2 crores for 4 months, and from January 21 onwards, it was completely withdrawn. On account of withdrawal of MEAS incentives, there is a reduction in the income by about 8.10 crores. The government of India had announced in place of MEAS, new incentive scheme called revision of duties and taxes on export products called RODTEP would be introduced, which is effective from 1st January 21. However, considerable time has been taken to announce the new scheme, and recently, it's on 17th of August 2021, the Government of India announced the RODTEP scheme of issuing tradable e-scripts at 2.5% of FOB value on exports, subject to a cap of 16 rupees per kg. As a result, the company's effective benefit would be only at about 2% on account of the cap of 16 rupees per kg. This has not been taken into consideration in Q1 FY22 results. Effectively, 3% net disadvantage to the company on withdrawal of earlier MEAS scheme will have the impact on the financial statements of the company, results of the company. And the necessary rules and procedures regarding grant of claim application, time period for application, record keeping, etc. would be notified by the CBSE in due course. In addition, there has been very steep, unabated increase in the ocean price, going by about 300% over the earlier freight rates. The company, along with other exporters, have made several representations to the government, to various other agencies like MPEDA, to take initiative to curb this unabated freight increase. Any conceivable results are yet to come. The volume of exports during Q1 FY22 compared to Q1 FY21 decreased on account of shortage of containers availability, slowing down of export of cooked shrimps for strengthening of quality control systems in view of US FDA recall. Exceptional item of rupees 4.10 crores taken to profit and loss for Q1 FY22 on account of product recall. Income consisting mainly exchange fluctuations and yields on investment of surplus funds has decreased by about 4.68 crores due to decrease in yields on mutual funds and other investments, and also the foreign exchange fluctuations. The general industry overview, the world, as you know, has suffered the impact of the first wave, and the effect of second wave appears to have receded to a great extent now, and the economies of countries linking back to normalcy. But the threat of a third wave, COVID-19, is looming large, and the countries are getting ready to face it to prevent major impact by vaccinating their population and other preventive measures. During the phase of second wave, the economic activity was not disturbed as much as it did in the case of first wave, though India had higher number of positive cases and fatalities. The industrial growth also picked up in almost all sectors, except maybe industries like tourism, hospitality, etc. The demand for the products and services picked up fast, supporting the manufacturing sector. Seafood industry is no exception to this. The restaurants, food services, etc. got back to normalcy with the increase in demand for seafood, including tropical shrimp. During the first half of 21, the shrimp culture has been very good, expected to continue during the second half also. The demand for the product also is likely to increase in second half due to occasions like Thanksgiving Day, Easter, Christmas, New Year, Chinese New Year, etc. Therefore, the future of the industry looks quite promising. Coming to the production and feed consumption, the shrimp feed consumption in India declined to 9.55 lakh tons in 2020. However, as the demand for shrimp is expected to increase in 2021 due to return of normalcy and favorable shrimp culture conditions, the shrimp feed consumption is expected to grow by about 10 to 15% over the previous year, with an estimated consumption of shrimp feed around 11 lakh tons during 2021. The company's feed sales during 2020 was about 4.55 lakhs metric tons and expected to be around 5.25 lakhs metric tons in 2021, an increase of 15%. The company is expected its share in the feed of 48% to 50%. With regard to processing and exports, the shrimp production and exports from India in 2020 was 5.75 lakh metric tons in 2020. However, during the current year, that is 2021, the production and exports of shrimp is estimated at around 6.5 lakh metric tons, a growth of about 10 to 15% over the previous year. The company's shrimp export in 2020 is about 12,192 metric tons. The estimated exports in 2021 is about 12,700 metric tons, maintaining almost the same level as in 2020. Yeah. The recall, now let me just explain the issue of recall of some of the containers of shrimps shipped by Avanti Frozen Foods Processing Division. The company has issued a corporate announcement a couple of days back communicating the status of initial recall and also expanded recall of cooked shrimp products on potential for contamination due to the presence of salmonella in the recalled product. As stated in Q1FY22, a sum of 4.10 crores has been charged off as returned destroyed product as against the total value of 16.11 crores in the initial recall. Since the recall is more than 45 days as of now, further returns of the products for refund appear to be not significant. However, the recall is open till the expiry date of the product, which is in a year from now. As far as the expanded recall is concerned, the quantity is 613.862 metric tons with a value of 50 crores to 50.12 crores, covering products imported into US from November 20 to May 21. The company is in the process of ascertaining the inventory of the product with consignors, distributors, etc., and evaluate the possibility and the extent of returns that could come for claim. The process is on because the recall was announced very recently. We got only information about 70 tons is in the warehouse. This is what the information that we have right now, but we have to wait for some more time. What is the returns that we are going to get from this second recall? At this stage, I would like to conclude with positive note that the aquaculture industry is poised for a promising growth. And whatever that recall is, it's not a normal thing. It's something which has happened as an aberration, and I think in the course of time we will be able to resolve these issues. And we have already taken a lot of efforts to strengthen our checks and systems and engaging the food, the safety, public health, consumer safety, and regulatory compliances. And they have all been giving very fruitful results. And we should be able to resolve these issues very soon and come back to normalcy. And we do not foresee any serious impact on account of this in our image of the company or reputation of the company, since this kind of a situation never happened in the past 2.5 decades, and this is the first time it is happening. And we are confident that in consultation, in discussion with our customers, we will be able to establish whatever the necessary steps are taken. We'll do it, and we will be confident that such a situation will never arise. I think with this, I would like to conclude and go into question and answers now.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. And participants are kindly requested to restrict with 2 questions in the initial. Join the queue for further questions. First question comes from Aniruddha Doshi from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, first of all, what is likely to be the maximum impact on our profitability, considering the shrimps that are getting rejected? So, obviously, the maximum impact may get accounted or not, but what is the fair assumption on the loss that we may have to incur on this account? Point number 2, the MEIS benefit were around 5% and the road test benefits are 2.5%. That too, considering the cap, it will be around 2%. So, how do you see the 3% gap that will be bridged? Or it will be an impact on the profitability initially, and then it will get absorbed in the entire shrimp value chain, that is farmers, feed manufacturers, and exporters, all three. Yeah, so these are the 2 main questions from my side. Thanks.
Let me answer the first question, that the impact of this recall. So Andrew, as we mentioned in our corporate announcement, in the first, that is initial recall, as against about 16 crores and odd, we have received about 4 crores, I would say around roughly 25% is the impact. And what we see is that the initial recall was made way back in June 25th. Until now, almost we have 2 months time that we have only got this value, but 4 crores only we have received, and we have written off that amount already in the profit and loss account. Further, definitely, since the recall is still open, we may get some more such claims, but we do not foresee a significant impact on the profitability of this because of such claims. So we have only, as far as the product return is concerned, we feel that we have completely taken care of all the products that have been returned and destroyed, and there may not be any more left out in the initial, the primary initial recall. Over and above that. Then coming to the second recall, this is about 50 crores, which is the financial impact, and 613 tons are involved. See, this has been issued, and we are just waiting and saying we have to really, we are not in a position to exactly figure out how much is going to be the return. It happens like this. If you look at the normal process, when it is distributed from the consignees warehouse to the distributors to ultimate the retailers and then to the customers, we don't know the entire channel. So they normally how much time it takes and all, though there is a shelf life of the product which is there for 1 year or 2 years, but that does not mean that it is in the stores or in the refrigerators in the houses till that period. Normally the tendency is that you take buy the goods, buy the products, particularly food products, you consume it as soon as possible. It cannot go for more than 2 weeks maximum in the refrigerators. So we don't see that this is going to be a big impact. But in any case, as you asked, what is the maximum? The maximum could be 50, the minimum could be 0. So that is the range. So if you take what has happened in the first, the initial recall, it's around 25%. Okay, let us take 25 to 30%. 30% means about 15 to 15 crores. That may be our very, very preliminary assessment as of now. But we have to wait and see. That we cannot give any guarantee as of now. But it could be anywhere between 15 crores, 20 crores maximum. It may not be that. It is only our assessment guesswork, but we have to wait and see how the things develop. Then the second question comes regarding the price. When we lose this 3% deficit in the incentives that the government has announced, as you rightly said, it's normally in the course it should get distributed among all the three stakeholders, the processors or the farmers or the buyers. It has to get adjusted in the course of time. I think we are expecting that it will happen in due course.
Okay, sir, just last question on this. So now the benefit is retrospective from 1st of January. So do you see that the industry, including Avanti, will be posting a one-time, because it is not an accrued income, so we will be accruing all the income in September quarter for the January to September period?
Yeah, you are right. See, because it has come into effect from January 21 January, the first quarter the value is about 3 crores 88 lakhs 50,000. That is what we have worked out and estimated, and that is the first quarter. That is Q1 in the calendar year. That is January to March. Coming to the second quarter, it is 4 crores 65 lakhs. That is the April, May, June quarter. So total it will be for the first half of the year, it will be 8.53 crores, which pertains to the earlier period. Coming to the current quarter, we are yet to get full information. Only in the July it is about 1 crore 96 lakhs. So total as of now, the benefit which we are estimating is about 10.50 crores. Added to that, August and September also we have to see. And once the government announces the scheme, how it should be, they are talking that it will come automatically, it will be credited along with your shipping bills, it will be credited. But as you know, the government, we have to see the processes and how they are going to do it, and it is automatically credited to our account. That's what they are saying. E-scripts are given, they are tradable scripts, So this can be utilized for payment of duties against imports of the products which are notified. I mean, it is by and large in the same lines as it was in the MEIS. So we hope that maybe with a discount of another 5% or so on this, that overall, let us say 10 crores 50 lakhs, you have to give a discount of about 40 to 5% in the course of the trade, and that is when selling it. So we may get the net benefit of about 10 crores we should be able to get from the January to July.
Okay. So this is very helpful, sir.
So this 8.53 crores belonging to the first 6 months of this calendar year, added to that this 3 months, July, August, September, will be reflected in the this current quarter, that is Q2 of the year, FY22. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right.
Okay. So this is very helpful. Just lastly, can you indicate on the loss that we may have to book? Will that be get booked in FY22 or it may get booked in FY23 itself?
I don't see. Again, I tell you, the most of the things should happen in the recalls. Whatever, it may not take so much time. By end of this year, maybe by December, all these things should get settled. It should not go beyond that. That's what we are expecting, because we are in the month of August. See, we are now September, October, November, December. We have got 4 months here. So in the 4 months time, see, the recalls, mostly it will be known. It will not take time. If there is any other consequential liabilities or anything like that, anything is there, it may take some time. But certainly, I think by December, we should have a very clarity. And beyond the December, in the Q4, it may not be much. Q3, you should be able to settle everything.
Okay. So this is very helpful. Many thanks.
Thank you, sir. Next question comes from Ayush Mittal from Mittal Analytics. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Go ahead.
So first of all, congratulations on a good performance given the circumstances and other challenges. It was very heartening to see the strong growth in feed segment, and you had mentioned about this in the earlier call also. So sir, can you give us some idea as to the strong volume growth that we have seen in this quarter? How much of this do you see to be maintained in coming season, in coming quarters?
Mr. Ayush, we don't see any reason why this should not be maintained. See, we have been only growing. We have not seen us going down. We have been maintaining, and we continue to maintain. We have got all wherewithal to maintain this growth. And this, you can't get a super growth, but definitely the growth which you have shown, it will now not go down. It depends upon we said that share will be about 48 to 50%. But 48 to 50% share will be maintained in the overall in the coming quarters also.
No, so what I'm trying to understand is the volume growth in the absolute change is very high. The absolute number now, the quantity that we are doing. So this kind of year-on-year change, do we expect to see for the coming times also?
Yeah.
And if yes, then we...
Yeah. Now I understood your question. That what we said, that the consumption of the feed depends on the culture. So because what happened was the last year the culture was very, very down because of the COVID impact. But this year, the climate was good, the culture conditions were good, and good prices were there, farm gate prices were there, and the farmers felt very confident of starting off. And they started off early in February itself, January and February, they started the culture. And all through the culture, the climate has really helped a lot, and the growth was very good. And our feed also performed very well. It has given very good results. And we had not only compared to the previous quarter, of course, as you know, it will be the beginning, it will not be there, but the second quarter, naturally, the peak quarter, it will be there. Normally, the consumption is more. This time, what has happened is, because compared to last year, the area has gone up, the results were good, and a lot of conversions also have taken place because our feed performed very well. So these are the reasons which we have been able to see a significant growth in two aspects. One is if you compare with the corresponding quarter of the previous year, because the reason of the COVID impact last year, we are finding the increase. And as far as the previous quarter is concerned, this quarter, naturally the April, May, June quarter is the peak season for aquaculture. Added to that, we have a good conversions and good performance during the quarter has helped us to record this. And if this kind of the trend of consumption continues, we continue to have our share as it is now.
Got it. So, sir, it also means that the industry, because the peers have also grown at a very high rate in this quarter. So overall industry in India has grown at a very high rate for this season. Is that right?
Yes, because it all depends upon the conditions. The conditions like they start from the good availability of good seed, then you'll have good climatic conditions, then good farm gate prices, for good export prices. I think in the chain, all things come in favor. Naturally, everyone will be enthused to go with a larger area and the higher, naturally it results in higher consumption and higher production of shrimps. Is it not?
Got it. Yeah. So second, around the contamination issue that we have had in our shrimp processing business, there has been an unfortunate, and we are trying everything to bring things back in control. But have you been able to study any other companies which have gone through this issue, and how does it impact the volumes going forward for us? Like, are we facing lower volumes from our customers for coming quarters or season, given this uncertainty that has brought for the company?
Niklesh, can you answer this question, Niklesh?
Yeah, I will. So, hi, I hope you're doing well. On the impact, so we've been engaging senior food safety consultants, including a lot of ex-FDA compliance officers, in assisting us to build a robust and the most advanced food safety system in the world. I'm not talking not only in India but the world. These include people from the Canada Food Safety Association, the US FDA, the Indian counterparts, etc. So as we discussed with them, the first thing is that it's a food processing industry. Major food processors, including Tyson Foods, who had a recall of about 9 million pounds of chicken today, or Kellogg or Jules. These are in the US market, the regulatory environment is continuously increasing. The inspections have increased substantially this year. So it is a continuing phenomenon. But definitely the FDA and the regulatory authorities work with the facility to ensure the food safety system is upgraded. And we are presenting to them the most robust food safety system, implementing new equipment, doing testing, the US FDA style, using their own same equipment they do to have more accurate results as they would. So coming to, would it impact the volumes on the long term? Definitely not. Because once we've already got tremendous results on the new systems that we've implemented and the corrective actions that we've taken. We are in constant communication with our customers about the updates, and they have also in turn been, actually we've tested almost around 40 to 45 containers with FDA and found to be no contamination. So things are going in the right direction. This is a short-term impact, but definitely when the system shows its results, any other long-term impact would be mitigated. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. One final question from my side. Given the growth in the industry that we are seeing after a gap of 2-3 years, are we planning further capex or expansions for both of our segments?
As far as the feed is concerned, we have plans. We wanted to implement, increase the capacity by 1 lakh tons of shrimp, and we are also planning to have feed, fish feed also. We are planning with, in fact, this has been delayed as our CMD mentioned in the recent AGM that because of this COVID situation and there's no proper communications and all with the suppliers of machinery. We are now in touch with them, and as soon as the things will improve, we want to go ahead with that. Most probably once we have the quotations or we are getting quotations from them for the machineries and all, we plan, and maybe in the next quarter or so, by end of this year, we'll come out with the details of the plan.
Okay. And processing?
Okay.
So on the processing side, I would like to say that we've already completed an expansion of one of our units, but now the is to increase the systems, and once these systems show effective performance, because we're talking about foolproof systems both in terms of microbiology, monitoring, etc. So once these, also I've said, we've invested in new testing equipment, what the FDA uses. So the capex is more towards the machinery in the existing facilities, but as of now, no immediate future expansion plan. But once we get more clarity out of this regulatory issue, we should be looking to further grow the business. We already have lower capacity utilization.
Okay. Go ahead.
We already have lower capacity utilization, so we're going to build up the utilization to 80-90% level, add new products into the product line, manage them efficiently, and then go for volume growth, more volume growth rather than going for volume growth without capacity utilization.
Actually, I may add to what Nikhilesh said, that we did discuss these issues, and we are hopeful that all these regulatory issues could be resolved maybe in a quarter's 3 months' time. And we do have a plan of modernizing the earlier plants and also go for further expansion of the productivity. And we have earmarked about 100 crores for our expansions. Maybe that was recently we were discussing in our planning strategies. And we may, along with that, we may come with this maybe once we, as Nikhilesh said, we resolve these regulatory issues by end of this year and early next year, we should be able to come with some concrete plan on this. But as of now, we have earmarked about 100 crores for in case of any expansions required to be done. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Very helpful. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. And participants are kindly requested to restrict with 2 questions in the initial round and may join the queue for further questions. Next question comes from Nitin Awasthi from InCred Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. In your opening remarks, you mentioned something on the GMO front, and I couldn't catch it clearly. If you could just reiterate what it was, that are we allowed to import it right now? Are we placing orders for the GMO crop, soya meal, and are we getting it, or are there still regulatory hurdles?
Yeah. Yes, you are right. This now India, the government never allowed earlier import of GM products. However, because the prices were going up unabated and uncontrolled, because one of the reasons of this steep hike in the soybean meal price has been the commodity trading. Commodity trading and the hedging by these traders has resulted in a very steep hike. So the government has allowed import of soybean meal, but there are certain regulatory issues we have a regulation that there are 4 ministries involved in this. Recently, they have announced that import is permitted. The 15 lakh tons the government has permitted the GM soybean meal. But only the thing is the processing and the system how it should be imported is to be given by the regulatory authorities like DGFT and customs. We have placed an order for import of GM soybean meal yesterday there was a news that the information has come from the Revenue Ministry, the Finance Ministry, Revenue Department, Customs, saying that we have to take some approvals, and it has been directed back to the Fisheries Ministry. The Fisheries Ministry in touch with the Forest and Environment and Climate Change. They have to give this approval under GEAC, which is called a generic, approval authority, genetic engineering approval authority. This is a body which has to give permission for import of any genetically modified organism. Initially they said that since a crushed seed which has no live organism, so they can be imported, and this does not fall under GEAC. But however, the Customs Department has now raised this issue, saying that no, it requires GEAC approval. So that has been taken up now, and most probably on Monday, Tuesday, the notification will come from GEAC approving the product to be imported, as well as by the DGFT by policy change. Import-export policy has to be modified accordingly, permitting import of genetically modified GM soybean meal. We are expecting that 2-3 days it will come, and we have already placed order for import of the soybean meal from Vietnam. So the expected shipment is around 10th of September. So it will reach about 20th of September. This product should come. And moreover, that time we are going to get a new crop of soybean meal in India also. Starting with Maharashtra, like Sangli and all, there the harvest will start in the second half of September. So I think that we will be having the local soybean meal also available, as well as the imported soybean meal. So with that, the pressure on the soybean meal will decrease, will come down, and prices are likely to be stabilized. That we are expecting it. The softening of prices will happen sometime after mid-September. It's what our expectation is about.
Noted, sir. And yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, see, what I'm saying is that we can expect softening of soybean meal prices from mid-September, later part of September.
Okay, sir, got it. Also, sir, the landed cost of the orders you have placed for the GMO soya?
Quantity.
No, not quantity. Quantity would be, of course, subject to a lot of things. The price per kg, if you could just give it the rough price, and of course there will be a lot of years and there. But approximately, what is the landed cost you're getting that product for?
Yeah, as of now, we are expecting it should be around 65 to 70 rupees landed cost.
65 to 70 rupees. Okay, and if you import it from anywhere else in the world, let's say US or Brazil or something like that, would it still be the same cost?
Yeah. See, the trading we have not contacted. Only a couple of traders have come forward, because still the policy of the government is not very clear. They have not yet come with a clear notification under customs that it can be imported, and the DGFT policy also is not clear. So everyone is sitting fingers crossed. Once the DGFT as well as the customs give a notification that GM soybean meal is permitted to be imported, then the more and more suppliers would be willing to supply to India. We have contacted other suppliers also, but they are saying that let us know the policy in India. We are waiting for that. Most probably next week some development will take place on this.
Noted, sir. Understood. Also, sir, on the...
Thank you, Nitin, sir. You may join the queue for your further questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. And participants are kindly requested to restrict with one question in the initial round and may join the queue for further questions. Next question comes from Ashwini Agarwal from Ashmore Investment Management India. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. I just wanted some comments on how you see the industry evolving, because right now we are seeing several headwinds all at the same time. We are seeing the costs of raw material in the whole shrimp growing business or shrimp farming business going up. We are seeing shipping costs go up a lot. You are obviously going to face more costs on compliance as you install new equipment and conduct new tests. Packaging material costs have also gone up. At the same time, China as a buyer for frozen shrimp from India has more or less disappeared. So, looking at this industry scenario, how do you see the scope to expand your revenue, your exports to other countries? Or does this mean that, we may be in for a tough industry scenario for the next 12 to 18 months?
Okay, let me answer first the question of your sustenance of the industry. Let me answer about the feed first. The feed is directly connected to the production. The production is again on the basis of the demand. So the demand for exports, and the demand for export depends on the consumption, demand for consumption. So we do not foresee any reduction or fall in the consumption, demand for consumption of shrimps globally in near future. That is, there is only the increase in the demand but not the decrease. Whatever has happened in the last couple of years is something because of the COVID-19. It is only, I would say, an aberration. It is not a continuous process, or it is not perpetual. It is only very short time impact. Coming to the feed division, the raw material prices, again, I would put it that the impact of COVID to some extent, and some of the policies that we are taking. Maybe if you look at the governmental policy, at one time they encouraged the export of soya. So there is a big export of soya to other countries. When the Brazilian crop and American crop failed, so there was a lot of export of soybean meal. The soya processors were getting a much higher price than the local price. So they resorted, and there is a shortage in India. It is again, this could have been monitored by the government and the stakeholders to reduce this to control the situation. Now the second thing is, why did the soya prices went up? It is because we allowed the commodity trading. Commodity trading is nothing but some sort of hedging the futures and expecting and going on increasing one-sided without actually transactions taking place. With the result that the forward prices, looking at there is a lot of hoarding was there. Looking at the future prices, the hoarding started. So this again is a man-made situation. So under this situation, it is not nothing. It is only our own regulatory mechanism is not properly managed. So once we do it, definitely soybean price would have been controlled. On one side, the government generally goes on increasing MSP price in the interest of the farmer. That is good. But at the same time, if you allow the forward trading, then naturally the traders will come into play. They have no business. They buy and sell on paper. Nothing happens. So that is creating an artificial demand for the product. So we hope that we have made several representations to the government to ban the forward trading, the commodity trading in soya, because it is an essential product, is a good product, edible soya oil or soya bean meal, a poor man's protein. So we made so many representations, and it is under consideration. So that is one reason why this, as far as the fish meal is concerned, is again, see what has created is the demand for the price of the soybean meal went up to 105, 110. It is more than fish meal price. From 46 it went to 100 rupees, soybean meal, whereas it is 95 to 100. So the poultry and all, one is on the shortage, and the second is they moved to fish meal. So their fish meal price demand went up. and they are getting some export good prices. They started exporting. So these are all what some sort of our own created problems, and we hope that things are slowly settling down. The government is also kind enough to understand the difficulties of the industry, how, and the farmers, aquaculture farmers, and on several representations they have started giving results. One such is the permission for import of the soybean meal. And the second, once it comes, and on the other side, the fish meal catches will improve. That from the ban, there was a ban. So from 1st August, the ban has been lifted. So we will have more fish meal, and all these things will settle down. I think we don't foresee. Say, if you allow the 15 lakh tons of soybean meal, and as it stands today, basing on the sowing of soya in India, it is almost like more than 100 lakh tons, which is much almost same as last year. It was also a good crop, but for the other reasons, the product as such, the availability was there. Current year also, with this and availability of the soya abundantly in India, we see that the prices should stabilize in the next 1 year, and definitely it is going to positively have a positive impact on the industry, sir. So
is there room?
Yeah.
Is there room to increase prices or realization, especially looking at the freight costs and what a big impact has it had, or the raising of prices is simply not possible?
I think I will answer the feed prices, and let Nikhilesh will answer the export prices. The feed prices cannot be. We have taken, as I explained in my initial we have taken 3 times price increase, latest being 4 rupees 25 paise in August. I think once the raw material prices stabilizes from next month onwards, then things will be much better, the performance. We are expecting that there more, but we cannot increase the price as we like, because we have to look at the feasibility, workability of the aquaculture activity as such for the farmer. There should be always a reasonable return on his investment. That is the farm gate prices and the cost of production of shrimp for the farmer. We always keep in, because we are in both the processing as well as in the feed. We always look at the feasibility of the carrying and the activity. And as we have more and more farmers undertaking shrimp culture, more and more our feed business and the production also, we look that into consideration. And we have also certain regulatory issues by the state governments and all regarding the prices. All these things we take into consideration, and we resort to price hike of the feed only as and when it is absolutely necessary and it is acceptable to the farmers and the regulatory authorities. I think as far as the price and the export prices, Nikhilesh, would you like to take this question?
Yes, sir. So on the price increase, we can see that already the price of the shrimp commodity has increased this year because of the higher freight prices, higher costs, higher fuels, and all other even higher manpower costs. So the price has been going higher for the commodity, but we need to see how much more higher it can push at the moment. Because they're not only looking at a higher purchase price from the farm level, but also higher overheads, which are eventually going to be passed on to the customer, because it's not related to one facility, but it's across the world, across India. I think we've also, just to add on to this conversation on another topic that I was talking to a couple of buyers earlier today and yesterday, and there's a higher cost for everything today, because consumers are essentially staying at home, working from home, higher savings per person, whereas the factories, etc., people are still turning up to work. So there will be an increase in the commodity price, but it will be governed by the market. As such, one facility or one country cannot govern it. Because it's more from the consumer level, it has to increase.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, that will be the last question for the day. Now I hand over the floor to Mr. Sherwin Fernandez for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bharati. On behalf of KFinTech, we'd like to thank the entire team of Avanti Feeds for giving us the opportunity to host a call, and we appreciate the interest from the investors and analysts for the participation. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using those of us conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.
Your conference is no longer being recorded.